Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our reading through the Tanak night, the 6th of May, 2026. Okay, we'll be reading our 5 chapters tonight. Our First Kings, we'll be reading chapters 10 through 15. Okay, we're going to read each chapter and break it down. Okay, go to our YouTube channel, the Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at, examine, get the meat out. These videos will lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated, okay? And we have our Cash App at the bottom of the screen for those that want to support this channel, help you move along, okay? That too would be greatly appreciated, okay? This is a non-Messianic channel. For those that don't know, we deal with the Tanak and the Torah. Tanak being the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, okay, from Malachi, from Genesis to Malachi. And the Torah is the first 5 books of the Old Testament, which is the laws of Moses, which was given to Moses by our Savior and our Redeemer, the Lord of hosts, okay? Consists of our laws, our statutes, our judgments, our way of life, culture for Hebrew Israelites, okay? This channel was created to aid and assist our Hebrews who are waking up to their true identity in these last days, and also understanding who their Savior and their Redeemer truly is, okay? Shalom and welcome to this channel, and welcome to our reading through the Tanakh night, okay? We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence, a prayer, a psalms, then we have some current events, some need-to-know information, and we'll open it up for anybody with questions, comments, any dialogue, or any testimonies. And then our topic for discussion is this just happened overnight. It's tied to what Margie Green had to say about the mega movement and what's going on with Trump. It's going to be shocking. Okay, so with that being said, our scripture reading, like I said earlier, is out of First Kings, and we'll be reading chapters 10 through 15. I'm going to read each chapter and break it down, and then we'll pick a scripture at the end. We'll read that scripture, and we'll break it down, and then we'll close out, okay? This moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days, okay? Oh Lord, we come before thee at this time, and we appreciate you, oh Lord, for your patience and your guidance in these last days. Oh Lord, we thank you for your awakening us to this great understanding of your word. When we come before you, that you keep and direct and guide us through the upcoming week. Oh Lord, for their trials and pestilences and mayhem at every turn. Oh Lord, we see your mighty hand in the affairs of the world and how you are constructing your people's deliverance. And we trust and rely upon thee. And for this cause, we honor and respect you greatly. Turn not thy face from us, but allow us in our searching of you to find you, O Lord, and to dwell with you. Peace be unto you. Okay. So with that being said, I'll read a song real quick. Read a song real quick. Read Psalm 36, Steadfast Love of God. It's a song of David, okay? The servant of the Lord. The transgressions of the wicked saith within my heart. The transgressions of the wicked saith within my heart that there is no fear of God before his eyes. For he flattereth himself in his own eyes until his iniquity be found to be hateful. The words of his mouth are iniquity and deceit. He hath left off to be wise and to be good. He devises mischief upon his bed. He setteth himself in a way that is not good. He abhorreth not evil. Thy mercy, O Lord, is in the heavens, and thy faithfulness reacheth unto the clouds. Thy righteousness is like the great mountains, thy judgment are a great deep. O Lord, thou preservest man and beast. How excellent is thy loving kindness, O Lord, O God. Therefore, the children of men put their trust under the shadow of thy wings. They shall be abundantly satisfied with the fatness of thy house, and thou shalt make them drink of the rivers of pleasure. For with thee is the fountain of life. In thy light shall we see light. O continue thy loving kindness unto them that know thee, and thy righteousness to the upright in heart. Let not the foot of pride come against me, and let not the hand of the wicked remove me. There are the workers of iniquity fallen. They are cast down and shall not be able to rise. Okay, that was Psalm 36, and it's the steadfast love of God. Okay, you got any comments on that? Okay. So with that being said, we go to our current events. Okay, we'll play it, and then we'll talk about it. Okay, here we go.
Increase for all distributors that we work with nationwide, which means that materials that we used to use, like shingles and siding materials, went up about 8 to 9% on the 18th of April. And we just received another email that says on June 1st, pricing is going to go up an additional 10 to 12%. With this price increase, a roof that last month would have cost, let's say, $10,000, this month is going to cost closer to $11,000. And that same roof that cost $10,000 last month, after June 1st, could cost closer to $13,000. I don't like it when people say stuff like, get it now or it'll be more expensive tomorrow, or get it now or it's going to be gone tomorrow. But that's kind of what's happening now. So if you have commercial, residential, roofing, interior, siding, any sort of construction project that you've been waiting to do, now might be a good time to do that and save yourself some money. DLV Roofing is based out of Indianapolis, but we serve all of Indiana as well as Ohio at times. If you have any questions or you want a free estimate with honest pricing, give us a call.
This is a sad reality of what a lot of companies are resorting to right now, so to speak, because of this gas and oil shortage, or I guess pandemic that we're going to right now, so to speak, across. Y'all know gas is reaching highs and almost at all-time high right now, so to speak. So a lot of these companies are dealing with higher expenses. Grocery prices are dealing with higher expenses. Trucking companies, I mean, everything across the board is just getting more expensive. This is just sad, the sad reality of where we are right now. And I don't see an honest end to it. But like I said, a lot of businesses are suffering as a result of it, if not just raising their prices to mitigate some of the losses that they're receiving. But I don't, you don't have to hear from me. There are many different perspectives of this in this video. Let's check them out, guys.
You want a little behind the scenes of what it's like to be a business owner right now? In the last 7 days, we have gotten a price increase notification from almost every one of our suppliers. Only one of our suppliers actually hasn't sent us a price increase email. And the reason, all of them are saying that it's because of the Iranian war. As oil can't get through the Strait of Hormuz, meaning everything that uses oils, plastics, fuel, all of it has gone up. So for example, our plastic bottles, these that we ship all of our stuff in, these bottles just went up by 5%. Our packaging costs, just like this, just went up. Our labels haven't gone up yet, but they told us that they're probably going to. USPS announced an 8% increase on shipping costs, which we offer free shipping. So that means our costs, again, go up because we're not passing that on to the consumer. And so then we're faced with the decision, well, if all of our prices and all of our costs are going up, what do we do? And as a small business, we try not to just go raise prices through the roof, and we try and just watch and see, what is going to happen. As I'm recording this video, literally right now, I just got an email from Amazon saying that they're adding a 3.5% fuel and logistics related surcharge to fulfillment by Amazon, which we don't do FBA right now, But if we did, we'd be paying more in fuel and more in shipping. So this is the trickle-down effect, right? It starts with a war on the other side of the world. We're here in the US. And then as things continue to escalate, all of the supply chain gets more expensive. Well, if the supply chain gets more expensive, that impacts us, right? And that's not just us. Every small business, every large company is experiencing the exact same thing, which means that all of our stuff is eventually, even if we don't do it right now, if all of this continues, at some point we will have to raise our prices, right? So if we have to raise our prices, then you as the customer are then having to pay more. So it's this trickle down for something. I mean, it's a global economy. That's what we have. And it's just, there's nothing you can do about it.
And the sad part about this is when I talked about this weeks ago or months ago, when this whole conflict had began, people were saying, oh, you're here fear mongering, you got TDS and you don't understand the economy and go do your research and all these different things. And guess what now? I mean, we are in the heat of it. Now you got so many people, MAGA, furious right now. So people, because they're paying higher prices at the gas pump as well as at the certain businesses and certain services that they're receiving. That's the unfortunate part. It's so sad. I mean, every single aspect of the economy is up right now, and I mean bad way up, right? In terms of prices and projections of what people are expecting to see for the future. That's so scary. That's the scary part. I'm not here to fearmonger. I'm just being honest with you. And these are the business owners that are actually speaking out. You're talking about grocery prices. You talk about gas prices. You talk about insurance prices with the big, beautiful bill. You talk about everything being up right now. Prescriptions, everything costs more than it did a couple years ago. And if you're on Medicare, there is a real chance you're probably overpaying for that as well. And that's not because you did anything wrong. Medicare is just really complicated. There are dozens of plans. They change every single year, and most people never truly see all of their options. So they end up paying more than they need to for coverage that might not even fit the needs of their doctors or their prescriptions. That's why you need to know about Chapter. Chapter is the only Medicare advisor that compares every single plan nationwide. Their advisors are salaries, and they're not salesmen who are here to sell you. And the call is absolutely free. It's under 20 minutes, and there's...
If the price of everything keeps going up, and our salaries keep staying the same, what's going to happen?
Excellent question. And the truth is, no one knows. We live in a closed system with finite resources, with a finite ability to withstand a certain population count. And the people at the top think that they need to own all things, all capital, all resources, all access to power, and that everyone else only exists to give them more access to wealth and power. And on a long enough timeline, it's just simply not sustainable. For a hot minute, there was a social contract, at least in this country, where people at the bottom made living, thrivable wages. It's why boomers have access to so much wealth right now.
Inside the Silver Star Survival Package, you'll find a covert, all-in-one solar.
The average, go look up, I'm not gonna give you, go look up the average age of a first-time home buyer 40 years ago, 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, and today. Go look it up. Go look it up. No one has anything. When it's all said and done, something is going to break. And when it does, go look up how many people are in credit card debt compared to 20 years ago. Go look up the amount of people that are defaulting on credit cards compared to 20. It's going to pop and it's going to be biblical.
Yeah, about credit card debt, foreclosures, car repos. I mean, the list goes on. I'm not saying that everybody's going through that. I'm not saying that everybody is broke in today's economy, because some people are actually thriving in today's economy. So I'm not going to create a false image that everybody's going through this. But your average American is experiencing some kind of financial strain in some kind of way. That's the big thing, right? That a lot of people are going through. But like I said, people are finding ways around it. They're picking up more jobs. They're picking up, more assets and ways to make more money, or just saving more money. They're going on less vacations. Like, there are ways around it. I'm not trying to come on this video and say that it's impossible to live in today's economy. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just the life that a lot of people knew in the days before. It's kind of pretty much gone as we speak. Let's be real here.
It just cost me $60 to fill up my tractor. Why should you care? Well, I'm a small farmer and I have a small tractor. However, my cost goes up exponentially. with $60 a fill up, right? Now I will run through that whole tank of diesel in about a day, especially this time of year. So that's $20 extra per day while I'm running my tractor. Now, if diesel prices stay like this, that's about an extra $400 a month for my costs just to produce stuff. Small farmer, so most of my products I sell locally. But my prices already went up because of the tariffs. I'm not eating those costs. I'm passing those along to the consumers. So my prices already went up when the tariffs hit. Now they're going to go up again because my production cost has gone up quite a bit. So I'm going to have to recoup an extra $400 a month off of selling my products at a higher price. I want to stress the point that I'm an insignificant small farmer who doesn't do a whole lot of gross volume, if you will. But I tell you all of this to let you know that your prices at the grocery store are going to skyrocket really soon. We haven't even got into the idea of transporting those goods from farm to table because they run on trucks, those run on diesel. Those costs are going to go up exponentially as well. And I'm not telling you this to fearmonger or anything like that. That's not my goal here. My goal here is prepare you, to let you know, not necessarily prepare you, just to let you know what's coming.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing. Education. If you don't know, okay, that's a different thing. But as long as you know what's coming, then you'll be fine. I'm not telling you to go and stockpile, water and food and groceries. I'm not telling you to go buy a bunch of gas cans. That's not what I'm saying whatsoever. But just understand what people are doing right now and what's actually happening to a lot of businesses right now as we speak. That's the reality because it's coming and it's coming fast. It's almost like the pandemic. Let's be real here. But people don't like to hear that. People think that I'm here to make fear-inducing content or make.
Okay, what you think? Got any feedback on that?
Yes, shalom, brother Leonard. Yeah, they, well, like you said, the effects, everybody pricing each other out. That is going to ultimately just continue to drop the economy, because just every business is charging everybody and then charging everybody a higher price, and eventually people just not gonna buy it because they can't afford it, which is gonna hurt every business.
Right, greed.
Right, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Is there something?
Right.
Okay. So here go with the next one. Okay.
The energy shock is here thanks to the U.S.-Israel war against Iran, and airline experts now warning that more airlines, just like Spirit Airlines, could be collapsing in the next couple of weeks. Jet fuel shocks are now reverberating across the global air travel industry. Spirit admitted in court documents that jet fuel prices were one of the main catalysts to closing their doors, and recent geopolitical events, they say. Even their customer service department totally gone. And people showing up for their flights just gone. Spirit Airlines, sorry, your airline doesn't exist anymore, just totally gone. Global airlines, according to the Kobisi letter, are canceling flights at an unprecedented pace. Airlines have cut 2 million seats, 12,000 flights worldwide from their May schedules over the last 2 weeks. Total available seats down to 130 million. That comes as jet fuel costs have doubled since the Iran war began, forcing carriers to cancel unprofitable routes, switch to smaller aircraft, raise ticket prices. So like big international flights still happening, but those smaller, just like puddle jump flights that people take and rely on a regular basis that are pretty unprofitable, canceled. Just look at the number. This chart from the Financial Times on the number of flights being canceled, unbelievable. And you can see, of course, hitting Air China, Turkish Airlines, and more the hardest. Meanwhile, gas prices across the United States skyrocketing. The CEO of Chevron just said it out loud yesterday that we're starting to see the supply crisis hitting some major economies already. Europe is already there. Asia is already there. And his biggest warning is about America. He basically said America is next. Watch.
20% of the world's energy supply flows through the Strait of Hormuz. That's oil, that's liquefied natural gas, it's refined products, goes to Europe and Asia primarily. And both of those regions are seeing the impact of having that much cut off. The U.S. can't make up all of that supply. Inventories in the system are being drawn down, and the supply situation is tightening, and that's a concern.
Yeah.
And you think
Lindsey Graham says, meanwhile, Lindsey Graham says that Americans deserve higher gas prices because many doubted that Iran was going to get a nuclear weapon, almost like that this is like your comeuppance because you just didn't believe the truth about Iran. So you guys deserve higher gas prices. He says either you're going to pay it now or you're going to pay it later when they nuke all of us with their nuclear weapons. Watch.
The easiest way to clean your dog's teeth in 2026.
Over to the American people. I know gas prices are high and I know we're suffering right now, but you pay now, you pay later against thugs like Iran. They tried to get a nuclear weapon, and if you don't believe that, you shouldn't be allowed to drive in your hometown. Donald Trump stopped Iran from having 8 to 10 nuclear weapons by bombing their enrichment facilities. God bless you, President Trump. We were weeks away from a nuclear-armed Iran. No more. Everything has been obliterated. Their economy is in tatters. Their military has been decimated. There's more to do. If we can control the straits, checkmate against Iran, blockade plus, arm the people, and to our allies throughout the world who depend on the Strait of Hormuz more than we do, get off your ass and help us.
Remember, it was open.
Who's us? I don't recall Lindsey Graham ever going to war or putting himself in any dangerous situation. He has bodyguards. So who exactly is us?
I don't know. I mean, in Ukraine, they have those trans soldiers. He could join up in Ukraine. You know, go ahead, Philip.
Did he just suggest that we arm Iranians?
Yeah.
Are we doing that now?
That's the next big piece of this, which is sending as many guns as we can to arm the Iranians. So it's all back to opening the Strait of Hormuz again. I'm seeing $7 a gallon in Toronto from our viewers, $7 in Toronto, $4.37 in Missouri.
Over $7 for diesel in Michigan.
$6 in Florida. $5.50 in Colorado. Hawaii, upwards of $5. And yeah, all across.
Doesn't reopen in any meaningful way in the next 3 weeks, what happens then? Well, then, they don't want to address that because to them, the president, he's an economics guy. He understands this. I don't think the president does. If I can just speak honestly, I don't think the president understands this at all, which is why the war's gone on for 11 weeks now with no end in sight. I believe fully that we're already going to have a recession either now or in the next several months.
I'm going to ask about the propaganda because President Trump and his cabinet are continuously saying we needed to have paid these bigger prices in gas. It was a necessity. You really want this, even though you didn't know you want this, you want this. And then if and when the war starts back up, Iran is so weak, they're not expecting it. I mean, they were expecting it when we hit them on February 28th. The little girls weren't. But Iranian officials were. They've been ready for this for decades. So, I see some people in our chat being like, yeah, they're decimated. They were evil. They're the worst. It's so dumb to believe what the administration is saying right now. I can't believe that dumb people like that are here in the redacted chat. Can you at least address anyone who is believing the government propaganda about those things right now? Please, people in the chat, stop being dumb.
Well,
Okay. What you think? Okay. Got anything on that?
Shalom. I'm sorry, brother. It's a setup right there.
Families across rural.
Okay, yeah. So based off of what the main point that I got out of there was Iran got nuclear weapons now.
Right.
I see. Yeah,
but
I'm
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, they tried to. Didn't he say at the beginning, Brother Leonard, that they in the that they obliterated the systems, or was that an old clip that they was lying about that?
Yeah, that's what she was saying. Why are you people still believing anything these people say? When you understand how they lied, the propaganda, you know, like us, if they got everybody saying that Iran is evil, and like she said, how they evil when these people then blowed up a school full of little girls, you know? Don't they give them the right to retaliate?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Is that something? So we got some need to know information right here. We'll play this.
Rural America are watching their wells and creeks run dry
This right here is alarming to me.
as big tech promises the future.
No water. Yes, there's no water.
Holy cow, what's next? You don't have water anymore. You know, you expect it to be there. You turn the faucet on, it should be there.
Big data companies keep saying, well, we plan to be water positive in the future. It doesn't change the fact that these wells are going dry right now. And it's not just
like this tied to the data centers. If you understand what's going on.
It's happening here. It's actually happening globally. So when the water is gone, you can't drink the code. You can't grow food with server promises. They lied about the water. We're not going to let this disappear.
Oh, you look over here, there's an island. My grandma said we're going to have a picnic on that. Oh, I thought I'd find frogs because the minnows, I didn't see any frogs.
You just loves it out here. He is a country boy through and through.
No water. Yes, there's no water.
Yeah, Huxley Frank is just a normal kid. He dreams of dirt biking, frogs in the creek, picnics on the land with grandma, but his entire future just ran dry. You see, the nearby Meta Center promised that their $1 billion project would be water neutral.
This pressure washer is so insane it can literally slice through trees at full power.
More upon it. Dry cooling, full restoration, but right next door as they drill into glacial soil, farms are drying up. Family wells are literally going dry.
About a quarter of people in Wisconsin source their drinking water from private wells, according to the DNR. We're told 2 of those private wells in Dodge County just went dry.
No water, no warning, just literally the sound of a pump sucking air. No surprise, they lied about the water, and this Beaver Dam family is paying the price. In late February, the family well that's been reliable for generations just died. Low pressure, appliances quit working properly, then suddenly silence. Now, they're actually the second family to lose access to water in recent months. Now, I think that Frank Scott chose his words carefully when he said, I don't know what's causing it, but something has changed. This family just wants to continue living where they are. They just want the next generation, Huxley, to be able to have the dream of taking over the family farm. They just want clean, reliable water, the way that they have had it for generations, until somebody else moved in. You guys have to realize that what I'm talking about here isn't just some sort of inconvenience. What I'm talking about is the end of a multi-generational farm. No livestock, no gardens, and actually no showers at all. Maybe, just maybe $30,000 might be able to fix the issue, but that's a $30,000 guess. Buckets to flush her toilet. She is afraid to drink the water that she has drank from for decades.
So you can see the sediment from the data center. Wow, and that's just from the water coming out of your faucet.
Yeah, and this is what's in all pipes.
She's already spent $5,000 trying to fix the damage and can't afford the $25,000 it's going to take to repair her well.
Just the well itself is probably $20,000, and that's not counting any of the
all the replacement of the fixtures and faucets and toilets and the lines that come underneath the house.
Meanwhile, a $1 billion corporation is just hammering away.
It's overwhelming because you really feel like you are up against this huge wall that you can't penetrate.
Same company, same promises, same heartbreak. In Arizona, you're seeing the same thing. Water levels are dropping quickly as these mega data centers expand and suck it all dry. A lot of rural wells in these areas are dried up already. That's these big data companies keep saying, well, we plan to be water positive in the future. It doesn't change the fact that these wells are going dry right now. Look at Idaho. In a place like Idaho, that's short 181,000 acre feet of water. That's nearly 181,000 football fields, 1 foot deep. I did a video on this recently. And globally, these global communities are paying the price for artificial progress. What you need is something real, like food. And guess what? They're going to keep promising water neutral until your faucet runs dry too. None of these people are demanding that we shut it all down. But what they're asking for are real answers. They're asking for officials to actually investigate what the heck is going on. What they're doing is they're demanding honesty. Because guys, when the water is gone, you can't drink the code. You can't grow food.
Okay, what you think?
Shalom, brother Leonard. This what they always do when they're building. I'm seeing like when they used to build the factories, back, and people would say, they were getting poison in their water and stuff. And but everything, like you said in the clip, that I keep seeing when I read articles about the data centers, is that they all just lie in the first report. When they bring it to the city, they lie about how much energy capacity that they need, and then when they get it approved, then they come back and ask for an energy increase, and by then it's already too late, because it's already under construction. I had read that in the City Hall report of the one here in South Carolina.
Right, exactly, and that, like the guy was saying yesterday, what's going to happen is we looking at prophecy, and the people that's zeroed in got the right knowledge. It's going to come a time that it's going to be a serious mass evacuation out of here, and they're gonna ordain it. They're gonna make it happen, and it's because of this right here. Ain't no water. And the guy telling you right now, though, it's already dried up. Just think at the end of the summer, they're gonna have to make a decision because of the bodies. They're gonna try to get as many people out of here as they can. That's one of the ways to do it, is to say, oh yeah, y'all can go. That's to get everybody out of here. I mean, they need to get as many people out of here, miles or bodies as they can out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's the same thing. When you look at it, it's the same thing happening in Egypt. Most High brought so much drama on them, they had no other choice but to get, in order to get the drama off of them, they had to let us go. They had to ordain it.
Right.
And that's where we at. Okay. I got another video pertaining to that too. Yeah. So what I'm gonna do right now is go to my Q&A, questions and comments, and anybody got any dialogue or testimony? Got anything?
Yes, sir. Brother Leonard, did you see that Trump it said he made a presidential proclamation for a national day of rest, and it's supposed to be from the sundown on the 15th to sundown on the 16th of this month.
That's a Sunday?
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. Right. So you know what that is, right?
I mean, that's like handmade to me.
Right. And it's also what they've been saying. They're going to reinstate Sunday law.
Right. Exactly. Yes, sir. That's what it said in there.
That's what he's doing. That's what that's all about. He backdooring Sunday law. Okay. And that's coming, on indirectly, it's coming from the Vatican. Like I said, you gotta think about it. Like I've been saying about the so-called throne that's in Europe, that's in England. That's as far as they concerned, these Edomites think that that's David's throne. And so what you see, all the things you see going on, they want to bring about Pax Judaica, but in order to bring about Pax Judaica, they got to rebuild a temple and they got to bring David's throne back from Jerusalem, from England. The King Charles sitting on. And guess what? Where did Prince Charles just leave? Where he just leave from? America, right?
Right.
He just addressed the Congress and the Senate, just like Netanyahu came over here, and they then had a big day for him to come and address the Senate and the Congress. All that's unnatural. If you understand the law, where these dudes coming from? They got to set aside a big day for them to show up. They go all that's going right back to the Vatican.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said. No. Is that something?
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. I thought that was, especially how they try to say it's a presidential proclamation, and he said he encourages all. Yeah, that was the thing. The point that the guy made in the clip, that he said he encourages all Americans to observe it. And that
exactly.
key word is encouragement.
That's their way to get this. That's their cue right there by doing that, because we know all these Israelites all over the place proclaiming Saturday as the Shabbat.
Right.
The day of rest. So that's their way of that's how they coming in with that, and after they do that, then they're gonna start attacking, like condemning everybody else that's not doing it, which is Hebrews. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm.
And so then, like I said, you gotta go back to, like I was saying about education, system of education that been put in place. Way back in the day, people was idiots. They ain't had no education. They raised on farms. They ain't never been to no school. But today, you got way more people that's more educated because of the system that they put in place, the beast system that they got in place. So everybody understand that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, when you say Sunday law, Sunday, you're saying that you're gonna rest on Sunday. But you got so many people that understand the fact that what the Shabbat is. And that's their way of denigrating it. That's gonna be a problem. Okay.
Right, yes, sir. And then in Brother Leonard, because then I'm looking at the calendar, the 15th is a Friday and the 16th is Saturday.
Right. That's a direct attack on the Shabbat.
Right.
That's what that is.
That's crazy.
Oh yeah. That's exactly what it is. But at the same time, check this out. While all that's going on, like I say, it's no different. When we look at it, it's the same thing. Our God, the God of Israel, he don't change. So check this out. This is crazy. They don't talk about this.
Breaking fuck the news. Here's a clip of tens of thousands of bees swarming in Israel. Stay till the whole clip, and then I got something to say.
Like I was saying,
A lot of people are talking about these bees which are all over in Israel's sky. People are trying to say what is really happening. These people, they are
nowhere, southern part of Israel, bro. Y'all know we are in some crazy times, right? Because the fact of the matter is, everything that's happening over there, and then for this to take place right after Easter and Passover, two of the biggest spiritual resets on the planet. Look at this shit, bro. Whoa, those are bees, bro. Look at this. The bees are all over people's car and they're all over the ground as well. What is going on here? This is deeply symbolic because we literally just entered a new year, and then bees are pollinators. They are messengers of life. Even in some ancient cultures, bees were known as messengers of the sun, and they're the same colors, you know, gold and black. Real sun is black. But it's like they made the car their home. Wow, bro, y'all don't think this is symbolic? Yo, just like in the Bible, man, like something is legit. The bees are messengers that tell us that something is happening. The bees literally have some type of message. This is what happened to the bees on the ground, y'all. And I've been coming across their bees. I made a video about it a couple of months ago. Just for the fact that those bees attack those people like that. What is going on, y'all? And remember, just a few months ago, bro, those people were hightailing it. Remember, they were all getting on the bus. They were going somewhere like they knew something was coming. Now it looks like the bees are sending a message. And what do y'all think it is? Let me know down in the comments below, man. The shit is here. I'm telling y'all, we're in the midst of it. Let's continue to get the peace in.
They always say warning comes before destruction. And if you know anything about biblical symbolism, bees don't just represent insects. They represent attack, pressure, judgment. And I say that to say this. Why are thousands of bees swarming people in Israel right now? You heard what I just said? I'm not talking about one or two bees. I'm talking about full swarms. Oh, you don't believe me, right? Look at this shit. Y'all don't see all these bees? Tell me what you think about that. Tell me why you think all those bees is there. I need you to turn to Isaiah verse 7:18. And the reason we're going there, because in Isaiah 7:18, it talks about discipline or warning from God. It says, God calls swarms to come against a nation. And we can go down the rabbit holes of older superstitions. So now you're telling me in one of the most spiritually locations on earth, quote unquote, they suddenly have a swarm of bees. Either this is the most random natural event ever, or it's something that we won't understand until it's over. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. Historically, swarms has always been seen as warning, just like I told you in the beginning. Not proof, not confirmation, but warnings. Now, I'm not telling you what to believe. I'm telling you what's being seen. But if you think all those bees flying around in that location is a coincidence, and you just believe that. I'm out.
Tens of thousands of bees have started swarming parts of Israel and attacking residents. And something about this feels almost biblical. Something about a first plague and maybe a swarm of locusts. The irony of it all was definitely promised to them 3,000 years ago. But there's actually a more recent story that comes to mind for me when I hear this, and that's the fact that Israel killed one of South Lebanon's most prominent beekeepers on April 5th during its onslaught of South Lebanon. The bees are simply getting their revenge. Earlier this month, Israeli airstrikes killed Maruf Remmel, a man
on Israel covering streets, cars, and storefronts, creating scenes described by locals as biblical. Authorities urge residents to stay indoors. Businesses were forced to close. No serious injuries were immediately reported, but sheer scale of the swarm made major incident. Now, you know it's bad when they want these residents to stay inside. And I know I would stay inside. Look at this. All over these cars, I would be having a heart attack. Now, people are saying this is biblical because, for sure.
We need to prepare spiritually for the days to come. This, the reality of this war is more than what we think. And I know that most people are going to say that I'm fear-mongering and I'm forcing it and it's just a war and all this other stuff. They are already projecting that this war is going to go on for a longer time than what they expected. And as the war progresses, it's going to cause the entire world's economy to basically unravel. To start, I know people think, oh, you know, this is just the start of what God has spoken about in the end times. Recently, and I don't know who it was, some Iranian leader. The interviewer asked him, "What about boots on the ground? Are you afraid of that?" And he said, "We are waiting for them." Another thing I want to point out, everybody is trying to provoke and waiting for their own personal messiah to come. Iran is, you have the people in the I country. all of these different countries are waiting for their so-called messiahs. You have the Mahdi. You have I don't know who the I country people are waiting for. That baffles me, but doesn't even know that these people are feeling as if that this war is going to bring in their leader, and that and you can see it all through the events that are taking place. And said, but what I am saying is that these are significant events that we see that is happening, and we can reference the Bible with this. We can see how things are aligning. The alignment. The Lord spoke to me this year and said the alignment is taking place.
Okay, what you think about these bees?
I was gonna ask you, brother Lennon, is that a plague? Because it sounded like it to me, kind of.
Oh yeah, it's a plague. That's what we go back to Genesis. When you understand who it is that's doing the creating. Let me read that. This one another one of those things I was saying that they ain't getting. So when you go to Genesis chapter 1, and then you understand who it is that's doing the creating. Let's read it right quick. I think this is day 1 says let me get it. Yeah, verse 26. God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the fowls of the air, and over the cattle, and over the earth, and over everything, creeping things that creepeth upon the earth." That's the bees, the swarms, the locusts, all that's included. When it says that. So God created in his own image. In the image God created he, man. And so if you go back, and verse 26 says, God said, "Let us." See that? So like I said before, when you start at verse 1 and you go from day 1 all the way up to where I'm at, he talking to somebody else. He's commanding somebody else. Then this other being is the one doing all the creating. And that's how, like I said before, with typology, they took that and over in the book of John, now they got you think they got the world thinking it's JC. In the beginning was the word, but it wasn't him. I'm showing you that the Lord of hosts was there, and his name is Michael El, he who can create. He who was like Yahweh, he the one doing the create. So right here in Genesis 1:26, God said, "Let us." So Yahweh talking to somebody else doing the creating. And so this the being that showed up in Egypt and brought the swarm, brought the locusts. He controlled them. He controlled the bees because he the one created them. Okay? Yeah. What you think?
Yes, sir. It makes sense to me.
Okay. So yeah, so right now, like I said, you gotta think about that. Right now, in the midst of everything that's going on, swarms of bees.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Ain't that something?
All right.
And then another thing I wanted to shine a light on was when the brother was talking, he said that, and you know, you people bumping their guns, but look at what we're looking at. And so that takes me to, like I said, I'm disassembling a lot of this bullshit that they done brought about, like with Isaiah 53. They want you to think that's JC. But if you go to Isaiah 52, right? Let's look at it right quick. You go to Isaiah 52, and it says, he set you up for the suffering servant. And so you go to 13, 14, 15. Behold, my servant. Right here, this is the servant we're looking for in Isaiah 53. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. So right now, he got to be very low. Okay? 14. And as many as were astonished at thee, his vestes, his garments, like I said, his garments were so marred, more than any man and is formed more than the sons of men. So when they see these people, it ain't no way in hell it's them. Can't be them. But verse 15, so shall he sprinkle many nations. So you bumping your gums, but these same Negroes sprinkling the nations. You got to deal with it. You saying they ain't the ones, but they the one, they sprinkling the nations. They're doing what the prophets done and the Levites done back in the day. You ain't believing it, but that's what you're looking at. So anyway, keep going. It says, the kings shall shut their mouth. This is why they're going to shut their mouth. The kings shall shut their mouths at him for that which they had not been told. See that? They ain't been told this, but you looking at them doing it. And then it says, them told them shall they see. Like the brother just said, it's swarms of bees in Israel. You bumping your gums, but you got to deal with that. Why the bees there? They ain't part of what the prophecy, that ain't what the Christians told you about Israel in these last days, but it's bees every goddamn well. You got to deal with that. So it says, which had not been told them, shall they see. So the Most High prophecies come to pass. Contrary to what you've been told, you've been in seminary and bullshitted, it ain't working. So he says, not been told them, shall they see, and that which they had not heard, shall they consider. So they ain't talking about this. They ain't telling you this in the seminary. This ain't part of the curriculum. But he's telling you right here, the suffering servant, you ain't been told about the suffering servant. You don't understand who he is. And then when he comes, you got to deal with what you're looking at. Not what you've been told. You got to look at what's unfolding. And who it is that's in these roles. Okay? Yeah. Got anything on that?
Right. No, sir.
Oh, yeah. So with that being said, okay, we go to our topic for discussion, right? Yeah, so like I was saying, this happened overnight, but let me play it right quick. Okay. Here we go.
Willie D. Live.
What's up, family? Overnight, once Trump friend Marjorie Taylor Greene,
check it out,
ex-congresswoman, dropped a bomb. I'm talking about a bomb that was heard in Iraq. This woman said that Donald Trump, your president, did one of the most despicable things one could imagine. Yeah, I'm not going to even let the cat out the bag, fam. I'm going to let y'all hear it from the horse's mouth. Check this out.
And so realizing MAGA is dead. And do you want to know who took the actions to kill MAGA? It was the creator and the founder himself, Donald Trump. When we started talking about releasing the Epstein files, I'm like, this is a no-brainer. President Trump will just roll them out on a big cart himself. And I learned that the president didn't want to release the Epstein files. He told everybody, don't release the Epstein files. And I got a phone call from the president. And he said, Marjorie, you're going to have to take your name off that discharge petition. He said, my friends are going to get hurt. To actually be asked by the president of the United States to back off and not help these women, that's when MAGA died. And then I heard back from Donald Trump. And I've saved these text messages. I'd probably get put in jail if I released them publicly, but I saved them. Where Donald Trump proceeded to tell me that it was my fault. If my son gets killed, I deserve it because I was a traitor to him. After we got the president elected, and after what seemed to be setting our country on the right course, we had Donald Trump, J.D. Vance in the White House. That's where they are now.
And this is where she totally blows it, right? This is what lets me know she really hasn't changed. See, there's two glaring things that stand out here. One, she only came forward because it was happening to her now. Now a threat is being made against her son. She's been making threats. She's been enabling Trump with his threats for the longest. But now that the threat is aimed at her, there's a problem. And now she wants empathy. Two, as we've all known for some time now, Donald Trump does not do well with leaders. He does not do well with people who have their own mind, who think for themselves. So all of these people like Marjorie Taylor Greene, who decides to think independently, have an independent thought. You know, you can be somebody who follows, but at the same time have independent thoughts, or you can be someone who is just totally a flunky. And she appeared to be a total flunky for a while, but then all of a sudden she had a thought, and she said, well, this is one of my convictions and I'm sticking with it. I don't care. Even for somebody like that, it takes a lot for them to cross the line dealing with a Donald Trump type, because you know retribution is coming. You know that. So she crossed the line. She had an independent thought. Some of the other ones who have left the MAGA movement. She had an independent thought, and it cost her some career equity. One might say it cost Charlie Kirk his life. This doesn't mean he was a good person. This doesn't mean that Marjorie Taylor Greene is a good person. She's about to tell you in her own words why she's not a good person. Check this out.
Took control of the House and Republicans were in the majority in the Senate, I thought for sure we were about to accomplish the great campaign promises that we made to the American people for years. The campaign promises of no more foreign wars and no more regime change. The campaign promises of bringing back American innovation and industry and small businesses. The campaign promises of dismantling the Board of Education. The campaign promises of finally holding the deep state accountable, locking up he's not a doctor, Anthony Fauci, right? Holding accountable the J6 committee that destroyed people's lives. Holding accountable the U.S. Attorney Matthew Graves that horrifically prosecuted people that walked in the Capitol on January 6th and destroyed their lives, is responsible for multiple suicides.
Let me remind you, fam, that the J6 committee was a committee formed to punish people who try to overthrow the government. Something like that is usually punishable by death. She and the rest of them had a problem with the committee that was formed to hold those who try to overthrow our government accountable. So she ain't changed. Oh, she said that Fauci needed to be arrested. Yeah, absolutely. He's a horrible person too. But again, she's picking and choosing. She has selective outrage. She's picking and choosing. She also, she didn't say anything about the DEI, right? She didn't say anything about that. And there's some other things. I don't want to give it up. I'm gonna let her keep
holding responsible for the bad guys that Donald Trump told us about constantly for years and years of Russiagate and all these other things, but the deep state, stopping FISA 702, spying on Americans, you know, the good stuff, right? All the things that Republicans had campaigned on the things that they were asked about and talked about on Fox News 24/7, the things you read about in email fundraising letters that you received, text messages, and on and on and on. I thought, okay, we're about to do this. I was so excited. I was probably the most excited. I was so excited. I wore MAGA hats on the House floor. That's how excited I was. Things were going pretty good the first quarter of 2025. We were making some momentum. I had finally seen some of my Republican colleagues in the House have more courage than I'd ever seen them have. It was really funny to me. I was quite amazed that every single Republican I served with who actually hated Donald Trump and used to tell me to their face they hated him were all of a sudden coming up to me, showing me proudly their MAGA hats that he had signed and the great gigantic coin that the president had given them, because Donald Trump has everything bigger and shinier and more gold than anybody else. So his challenge coins were the biggest. So I watched this drastic change among House Republicans. And then in 2025, the first quarter, we were actually doing it. We were passing some legislation that needed to be passed. There was much hope going forward. But then all of a sudden, the momentum slowed down. And as we approached going into the spring and the summer, we started getting some bills.
Okay, fam, enough of this mumbo jumbo. Let me give you some of the things that Donald Trump did in 2025. She said that in the first quarter, everything was going just fine. She was like, yeah, we're getting there, just fine. First quarter, 2025. Let's start with the economic impact. Tariffs on Mexico and Canada, along with new duties on Chinese goods, led to rising costs for American consumers and businesses. Inflation concerns grew, and unemployment hit a 4-year high. Hey, but things are going pretty good. Government recognition, reorganization and cuts. The administration launched the Department of Department of Government Deficiency, otherwise known as DOGE, leading to thousands of federal employee layoffs, hiring freezes, and attempts to dismantle or restructure agencies like the IRS and USAID. Early actions included, this is the Immigration and Border Security. Early actions included initiating massive deportation efforts, ending birthright citizenship, and starting a crackdown on sanctuary cities. And we know how that turned out. Innocent American people were killed. Policy and personnel. The administration faced criticism for issuing controversial pardons and appointing political allies to key positions, leading to decreased trust in government institutions. So his whole cabinet is full of incompetent people. People who have no skill, mostly no skill at all whatsoever in the positions that they hold. They got rid of people who had years of experience, some decades of experience, to get with people who were just fresh out of college, who had zero experience. But what they was experienced in was kissing ass. And that's why Trump put them on his team. You heard Marjorie Taylor Greene talk about how so many of these people who hated Trump were now showing off their new coins and showing off their MAGA hats that he signed. Rubio, Hegseth, what's her name? You know what I'm talking about, that. But so many of them that are in his cabinet that got key positions right now were sworn enemies to him. But once he put them on his team, they flipped just like that, which further illustrated how easily these people can be bought. So healthcare and social services, he proposed budget cuts, targeted health services, social services, and public media, while healthcare costs for households began rising. Healthcare costs for households began rising. So this is what happened just in the first quarter, and not to mention how he fired air traffic controllers and all of those planes that were going down in the first quarter because we had no air traffic controllers. Remember that? The media don't even talk about that. Why do you think that is?
Okay, what you think?
It seemed like they getting exposed, brother Leonard, and everybody hating the system now.
Well, it's unfolding. What they're doing is being dismantled. Okay, right in front of our eyes. Okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go ahead and start reading our 5 scriptures. We're in 1 Kings. We're gonna be reading chapters 10 through 15. We're gonna read the chapters and we're gonna break them down. Okay. So you're gonna read 10 through let me see, 11 through 13. I'll read the other one.
Yes, sir. So you said in chapter 11, 1 Kings,
right.
chapter 11.
11, 12, 13.
Okay, sorry, I was in 2 Kings. All right. So Solomon's foreign wives, but
right.
But King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughter of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, you shall not go in to them, neither shall they come in unto you, for surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon clave on to these in love, and he had
Yeah. So let me shine light on this right quick. I'll let you go. So I've been talking about the 12 tribe chart, right? How they got the Mexicans and Hawaiians and all of them, right? These Negroes empowered them, right?
Mm-hmm.
We see the same thing right here. It says the daughters of Pharaoh, women of Mo. So Solomon married strange women together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of Moabites, the Ammonites, Edomites, Zidons, Hittites. These ain't no Israelite women, right?
Right.
Then 2, of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them. So these Negroes doing the same thing with the 12 tribes chart. So Solomon empowered them. Same way these Negroes was the 12 tribe chart. Then you want to know why all of a sudden the Mexican all in your business. And the Hawaiian, because you empowered them. Go ahead.
Yes, right. Yes, sir. And he had 700 wives, princesses, and 300 concubines. And his wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after other gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. For Solomon went after Astoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, and after Milcom, the abomination of the Ammonites. And Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord, and went not fully after the Lord, as did David his father. Then did Solomon build a high place for Chemosh, the abomination of Moab, in the hill that is before Jerusalem, and for Malak, the abomination of the children of Ammon. And likewise did he for all his strange wives, which burnt incense and sacrificed unto their gods. And the Lord was angry with Solomon, because his heart was turned from the Lord God of Israel, which appeared to him twice, and had commanded him concerning this thing, that he should not go after other gods, but he kept not which the Lord commanded. Wherefore the Lord said unto Solomon, for as much as this is done of thee, and thou hast not kept my commandments and my statutes, which I have commanded thee. I will surely rend the kingdom from thee, and will give it to thy servant. Notwithstanding, in thy days I will not do it for David thy father's sake, but I will rend it out of but I will rend it out of the hand of thy son. Howbeit, I will not rend away all the kingdom, but will give one tribe to thy son for David my servant's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, which I have chosen. And the Lord stirred up an adversary unto Solomon, Hadad the Edomite, and he was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when David was in Edom, and Joab, the captain of the host, was going up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom. For 6 months did Joab remain there with all Israel, until he had cut off every male in Edom, that Hadad had fled, he and certain Edomites and his father's servants with him, to go into Egypt, Hadad being yet a little child. And they arose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to Egypt, unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which gave him a house and appointed him victuals and gave him land. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Taphanes the queen, and the sister of Taphanes bare him Genubith, his son, whom Taphanes weaned in Pharaoh's house. And Genubeth was in Pharaoh's household among the sons of Pharaoh. And when Hadad heard in Egypt that David slept with his fathers, and that Joab, the son, the captain of the host, was dead, Hadad said to Pharaoh, let me depart, that I may go to mine own country. And Pharaoh said unto him, but what hast thou lacked with me, that behold, thou seekest to go to thine own country? And he answered, nothing. Howbeit, let me go in any wise. And God stirred up him another adversary, Rezin, the son of Eliada, which fled from his lord Hadazer, king of Zobah, and he gathered men unto him and became captain over a band when David slew them of Zobah. And they went to Damascus and dwelt therein and reigned in Damascus. And he was an adversary to Israel all the days of Solomon, beside the mischief that Hadad did. And he abhorred Israel and reigned over Syria. And Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, and Ephratite of Zerada, Solomon's servant, whose mother's name was Zeruiah, a widow woman, even he lifted up his hand against the king. And this was the cause that he lifted up his hand against the king. Solomon built Milo and Solomon built Milo and repaired the breaches of the city of David his father. And the man Jeroboam was a mighty man of valor. And Solomon, seeing the young man that he was industrious, he made him ruler over all the charge of the house of Joseph. And it came to pass at that time, when Jeroboam went out of Jerusalem, that the prophet Ahiah the Shilonite found him in the way, and he had clad himself with a new garment, and they two were alone in the field. And Ahiah caught the new garment that was on him and rent it in 12 places. And he said to Jeroboam, take thee 10 pieces, for thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, behold, I will rend the kingdom out of the hand of Solomon, and will give 10 tribes to thee. But he shall have one tribe for my servant David's sake, and for Jerusalem's sake, the city which I have chosen out of all the tribes of Israel, because they have forsaken me and have worshipped Ashtoreth, the goddess of the Zidonians, Chemosh, the god of the Moabites, and Milcom, the god of the children of Ammon, and have not walked in my ways to do which is right in mine eyes, and to keep my statutes and my judgments, as did David his father. Howbeit, I will take the whole kingdom out of his hand. Howbeit, I will not take the whole kingdom out of his hand, but I will make him prince all the days of his life for David, my servant's sake, whom I chose because he kept my commandments and my statutes. But I will take the kingdom out of his son's hand and will give it unto thee, even 10 tribes. And unto his son will I give one tribe, that David, my servant, may have a light always before me in Jerusalem, the city which I have chosen me to put my name there. And I will take thee, and thou shalt reign according to all that thy soul desireth, and shalt be king over Israel. And it shall be, if thou wilt hearken unto all that I command thee, and will walk in my ways, that and do that is right in my sight, to keep my statutes and my commandments, as David my servant did, that I will be with thee and build thee a sure house, as I built for David, and will give Israel unto thee. And I will for this afflict the seed of David, but not forever. Solomon sought therefore to kill Jeroboam, and Jeroboam arose and fled to Egypt unto Shishak, the king of Egypt, and was in Egypt until the death of Solomon. And the rest of the acts of Solomon and all that he did in his wisdom, are they not written in the book of the acts of Solomon? And the time that Solomon reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years. And Solomon slept with his fathers and was buried in the city of David his father. And Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead. And shalom, that was 1 Kings chapter 11.
Okay, you got anything on that?
Just brother Leonard, this dude that's Solomon's servant, he's a Israelite.
No, I don't think so. No, he's he might be, but I know he's a servant. He's Solomon's servant.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like a male servant.
Right.
Solomon house. The house of Solomon.
Yeah, and that's why I was asking, because I was wondering if he was probably like from Ham or something.
No, he's a servant, just like with Jacob 2 wives. Each one of them has handmaidens.
Okay, right. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So he's in, just like with Abraham and all the people he circumcised in his house. But Solomon, this dude was in Solomon's house as a servant.
Okay, like Eliezer.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Okay. Right. So my thing is, if you go back to chapter 11 in the third verse, but King Solomon loved many strange women, together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of the Moabites, the Ammonites, the Edomites, the Zidonians, and the Hittites. Then of the nations concerning which the Lord said unto the children of Israel, ye shall not go into them, neither shall they come in unto you. But surely they will turn away your heart after their gods. Solomon cleave unto these in love. So what Most High told them don't do with these nations, these women, these Edomites, these Zidonians, Solomon clave to them. Now watch what happened. And he had 700 wives, princes, and 100 concubines, and the wives turned away his heart. For it came to pass when Solomon was old that his wives turned away his heart after the gods, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord his God, as was the heart of David his father. So why they saying that? David ain't do this. Remember what happened. David ain't dealing with these women. Then 5. For Solomon went after Ashtaroth. Check it out. Ashtaroth, the goddess of the Zidonians. There it is. Verse 1. Right? This way he married a Zidonian woman. Okay? Then, and Milcah, the abomination of the Ammonites. He married an Ammonite woman. Solomon did evil in the sight of the Lord and went not fully after the Lord, and as did his father David. So this is why David the Messiah, other than Solomon. David ain't go this route. Okay. You got anything else on that?
And brother Leonard, this example right here, to me, that makes sense. Why? I mean, it's a clear example why you shouldn't marry, outside of the Hebrew culture.
Exactly. Right. Like I was saying yesterday about the Afro is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Why you know what I mean? You got to look at that. It's a lot go into that. A lot of DNA going to, you just look around in your surroundings where you at. Everybody ain't got no Afro. Huh?
Yes, right.
That's simple. Okay. Yeah. You want to read chapter 12?
12, yes, sir. Rehoboam as king, and Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And it came to pass when Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who was yet in Egypt, heard of it, for he was fled from the presence of King Solomon, and Jeroboam dwelt in Egypt. And they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came and spake unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us, lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, Depart yet for 3 days, and come again to me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father, while he yet lived, and said, How do you advise that I may answer the people? And they spake unto him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant unto this people this day, and will serve them and answer them and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants forever. Verse 8, but he forsook the counsel of the old men that they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, which stood before him. And he said unto them, What counsel give ye, that we may answer this people, who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke which thy father did put on us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, Thus shalt thou speak unto this people that spake unto thee, saying, The Father made our yoke heavy, but thou make it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, My little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now, whereas my father did lade you with the heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father has chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the 3rd day, as the king had appointed, saying, Come to me again the 3rd day. And the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the old man's counsel that they gave him, and spake to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, and I will add to your yoke. My father also chastise you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. Wherefore the king hearkened unto the people, for the cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahiah the Shilonite unto Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. So when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not unto them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Jesse. To your tents, O Israel. Now see, O Israel, now see to thine own house, David. Now see to thine own house, David. So Israel departed unto their tents. But as for the children of Israel, which dwelt in the cities of Judah, Rehoboam reigned over them. And the king Rehoboam sent Adoram, who was over the tribute, and all Israel stoned him with stones, that he died. Therefore King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Israel rebelled against the house of David unto this day. And it came to pass, when all Israel heard that Jeroboam was come again, that they sent and called unto the congregation and made him king over all Israel. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Judah only. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Judah with the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men, which were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam, the son of Solomon. But the word of God came unto Shemaiah, the man of God, saying, Speak unto Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, king of Judah, and unto the house of Judah and Benjamin, and the remnant of the people, saying, Thus saith the Lord, you shall not go up nor fight against your brethren, the children of Israel. Return every man to his house, for this thing is from me. They hearken therefore to the word of the Lord, and return to depart according to the word of the Lord. Excuse me. Then Jeroboam built Shechem and Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now shall the kingdom return to the house of David, if this people go up to do sacrifice in the house of the Lord at Jerusalem. Then shall the heart of this people turn again unto their Lord, even unto Rehoboam the king of Judah. And they shall kill me and go again to Rehoboam the king of Judah. Whereupon the king took counsel and made 2 calves of gold, and said unto them, Is it too much for you to go up to Jerusalem? Behold thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. And he set one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. And this thing became a sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even unto Dan. And he made a house of high places, and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a feast in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like unto the feast that is in Judah. And he offered upon the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing unto the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priest of the high places, which he had made. So he offered upon the altar which he had made in Bethel, the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart, and ordained a feast unto the children of Israel. And he offered upon the altar and burnt incense. And Shalom, that was 1 Kings chapter 12.
Okay, you got anything on that?
It was just a verse, Brother Leonard, but I done lost it. Verse 31. Brother Leonard, when it says, and he made a house of high places and made priests of the lowest of the people, which were not of the sons of Levi. But Leonard, is this like those remnants of the Canaanites?
Well, yeah, but these are they're not priests. They're not of the priesthood. But he made them priests.
Right.
To Baal.
Oh, okay.
So, you know what I'm saying? That's like when Nebuchadnezzar, he left Nebuzaradan there, and when Nebuzaradan left, after he took everybody, he gave the vineyards and all that to the lowest of the people.
Mm-hmm.
So this is demonic. So he lifted them up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Sort of like what they did with us. They denigrated the male, but they lifted the female up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So we see the results of that. But anyway, what I want to shine light on, remember in the book of Noah after the flood, when the Most High brought the flood, killed all the giants, where the spirit of those giants still lived. right? And that's how you get wicked spirits, right?
Exactly, yes, sir.
And the Most High, and the children of Noah came to him and said that they being attacked by these wicked spirits from these giants. They had to do something about it. Well, look right here in his story right here with Rehoboam. Most High made him king over the 10 tribes, right? So the men that Solomon dealt with was righteous men. He talked to them, but he dealt with the men that came up with him, right?
Right.
So watch this, verse 11. And now, whereas my father did laid upon you, okay, we're gonna go to so okay, says 8. But he forsook the counsel of the old men which they had given him, and consulted with the young men that were grown up with him, and which stood before him. Now check it out. 9. And he said unto them, what counsel give ye that ye may answer this people who have spoken to me, saying, make the yoke which thy father did put upon us. So now it's time for them to do the right thing in order to bring Israel back together. But they don't possess the spirit. They got these wicked ass spirits in them. Right? And it says 10. And the young men that were grown up with him, and you say, why are you saying that? The young men that were grown up with him spake unto him, saying, thus shalt thou speak unto the people that spake unto thee, saying, thy father made your yoke heavy, but thou shalt, but make thou it lighter unto us. Thus shalt thou say unto them, my little finger shall be thicker than my father's loins. And now, whereas my father did laid you with a heavy yoke, I will add to the yoke. My father hath chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So who you think talking? Wicked ass spirits, ain't it? Look at it.
Right.
Man, these ain't no Israelites. Thinking like no Israelites, these wicked ass spirits. Okay? And then so Jeroboam and all the people came to Jeroboam, and then he then said 13, and the king answered the people roughly and forsook the old men counsel. See that? Well, they forsook the old men excusing evil. These Negroes embraced evil. They allow these wicked ass spirits to operate in them. You see that?
Right, yes, sir. And Brother Leonard, in verse 15, where it say, wherefore the king hearken not unto the people, for this cause was from the Lord, that he might perform his saying, which the Lord spake by Ahijah the Shilonite.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. So that's another prophet then.
Oh yeah, that's another prophet. Yeah, right. See what's going on with this. It says chapter 12 shows Ephraim's sons doing things all out of order. Did he not believe the prophet? Yeah, that's what I was just saying. That this wicked ass spirits operate. Okay, but just in passing, some you can go check out. You got verse 25.
Right, yes, sir.
Can you read that?
25 of verse 12. I mean,
Right.
chapter 12.
Yeah.
Right. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim.
All right.
Okay, right. And then Jeroboam built Shechem in Mount Ephraim and dwelt therein, and went out from thence and built Peniel.
They
And
don't ring no bell.
yes, that's where Jacob wrestled at, right? With the
Right.
angel. Okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. That's something to research. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah. So you gonna read 13 or
Right.
I'll
And so,
read 14 to 15?
right. And so it says God's message to Jeroboam, and behold, there came a man of God out of Judah by the word of the Lord unto Bethel. And Jeroboam stood by the altar to burn incense, and he cried against the altar in the word of the Lord and said, O altar, altar, thus saith the Lord, behold, a child shall be born unto the house of David, Josiah by name, and upon thee he offered the and upon thee shall he offer the priest of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall be burnt upon thee. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, This is the sign which the Lord hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be rent, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out. And it came to pass when King Jeroboam heard the saying of the man of God, which had cried against the altar in Bethel, that he put forth his hand from the altar, saying, Lay hold on him. And his hand, which he put forth against him, dried up, so he cannot pull it in again to him. And the altar also was rent, and the ashes poured out from the altar, according to the sign which the man of God had given by the word of the Lord. And the king answered and said unto the man of God, Entreat now the face of the Lord thy God, and pray for me, that my hand may be restored me again. And the man of God besought the Lord, and the king's hand was restored him again, and became as it was before. And the king said unto the man of God, Come home with me and refresh thyself, and I will give thee a reward. And the man of God said unto the king, If thou wilt give me half thine house, I will not go in with thee, neither will I eat bread nor drink water in this place. For so was it charged me by the word of the Lord, saying, Eat no bread nor drink water, nor turn again by the same way that thou camest. So he went another way and returned not by the way that he came to Bethel. Now there dwelt an old prophet in Bethel, and his sons came and told him all the works that the man of God had done that day in Bethel, the words which he had spoken unto the king. Them they told also to their father. And their father said unto them, What way went he? For his sons had seen what way the man of God went, which came from Judah. And he said unto his sons, Saddle me the ass. So they saddled him the ass, and he rode thereon, and went after the man of God, and found him sitting under an oak. And he said unto him, Art thou the man of God that camest from Judah? And he said, I am. And he said unto him, Come home with me and eat bread. And he said, I may not return with thee, nor go in with thee, neither will I eat bread, nor drink water with thee in this place. For it is said to me by the word of the Lord, Thou shalt eat no bread, nor drink water, nor turn again by the way that thou camest. He said unto him, I am a prophet also, as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, Bring him back with thee into thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. So he went back with him, and did eat bread in his house, and drank water. And it came to pass, as they sat at the table, that the word of the Lord came unto the prophet that brought him back, and he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, Thus saith the Lord, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of the Lord, and hast not kept the commandments which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back and hast eaten bread and drunk water in the place of which the Lord did say to thee, Eat no bread and drink no water. Thy carcass shall not come onto the sepulchre of thy fathers. And it came to pass after he had eaten bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled him the ass, to wit, for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he, excuse me, in verse 24, and when he was gone, a lion met him by the way and slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way, and the ass stood by it. The lion also stood by the carcass. And behold, men passed away, men passed by and saw the carcass in the way, and the lion standing by the carcass. And they came and told it in the city where the old prophet dwelt. And when the prophet that brought him back way from the way heard thereof, he said, it is the man of God who was disobedient unto the word of the Lord. Therefore the Lord hath delivered him unto the lion, which hath torn him and slain him according to the word of the Lord which he spake unto him. And he spake to his son, saying, saddle me the ass. And they saddled him. And he went and found his carcass cast in the way, and the ass and the lion standing by the carcass. The lion had not eaten the carcass, nor torn the ass. And the prophet took up the carcass of the man of God, and laid it upon the ass, and brought it back. And the old prophet came to the city to mourn and bury him. And he laid his carcass in his own grave, and they mourned over him, saying, alas, my brother. And it came to pass, after he had buried him, that he spake to his son, saying, when I am dead, then bury me in the sepulchre wherein the man of God is buried. Lay my bones beside his bones, for the saying which he cried by the word of the Lord against the altar in Bethel, and against all the houses of the high places which are in the cities of Samaria shall surely come to pass. After this thing, Jeroboam returned not from his evil way, but again of the lowest of, but made again the lowest of the people priests of the high places. Whosoever would, he consecrated him, and he became one of the priests of the high places. And this thing became sin unto the house of Jeroboam, even to cut it off and to destroy it from off the face of the earth. And shalom, that was 1 Kings chapter 13.
Yeah, so just like I just said, when the old prophet came to the man of God, that was a wicked ass spirit, right?
I'm sorry, Brother Leonard.
When the old man came to the prophet that had dealt with Jeroboam,
right?
He
Okay.
lied to him. He lied to him.
He lied to him, right?
So, verse 18, he said unto him, I am a prophet also, as thou art. And an angel spake unto me by the word of the Lord, saying, bring him back with thee to thine house, that he may eat bread and drink water. But he lied unto him. So, JC, you're a lie. They told you a lie about JC. But so did that excuse what the Most High is going to do to the prophet? The lion still killed him. You see that?
Right.
It says, but he lied unto him. So he went back, right, with him and did eat and bread in his house and drank water. And it came to pass as they sat at the table that the word of the Lord came unto the prophet that brought him back. See that? Now the Most High come through this wicked ass prophet. And he cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, thus said the Lord. This is what I was talking about, how Spirit of the Most High speak to a man like he did Balaam. So this wicked ass priest that had lied to the man of God, now the Most High Spirit in him speaking through him. And he says, so he went back with him, okay, 20. And it came to pass as they sat at the table that the word of the Lord, this angel, came unto the prophet that brought him back. This is the wicked ass prophet. And he cried, this through him, through this wicked prophet. He cried unto the man of God that came from Judah, saying, thus saith the Lord, for as much as thou hast disobeyed the mouth of thy Lord, and hast not kept the commandments which the Lord thy God commanded thee, but camest back and has eaten bread and drunken water in the place of which the Lord did say unto thee, eat no bread, drink no water, thy carcass shall not come into the sepulchre of thy fathers. And it came to pass, this the Most High and overshadowed the wicked ass prophet. He's speaking through him, right? And it came to pass after he had eaten the bread and after he had drunk, that he saddled for him his ass to wit for the prophet whom he had brought back. And when he was gone, a lion met him by the way, slew him, and his carcass was cast in the way, and the ass stood by it. So there it is. Okay. Is that something?
Sure.
Okay. I'm gonna read 14 and 15. This Jeroboam sends his wife to Ahijah. At the time, Ahijah, the son of Jeroboam, fell sick. And Jeroboam said unto his wife, Arise, I pray thee, and disguise thyself, that thou be not known to be the wife of Jeroboam, and get thee to Shiloh. Behold, there is Ahijah the prophet, which told me that I should be king over this people, and take with thee 10 loaves and cracknels and a cruse of honey, and go to him. He shall tell thee what shall become of the child. And Jeroboam's wife did so, and arose and went to Shiloh, and came to the house of Ahijah. But Ahijah could not see, for his eyes were set by reason of his age, coming to ask a thing of thee for her son, for he is sick. Thus and thus shalt thou say unto her, for it shall be, when she cometh in, that she shall feign herself to be another woman. And it was so, when Ahijah heard the sound of her feet, and as she came in at the door, that he said, Come in, thou wife of Jeroboam. Why feignest thou thyself to be another? For I am sent to thee with heavy tidings. Go tell Jeroboam, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, for as much as I exalt thee from among the people, and made thee prince over my people Israel, and rent the kingdom away from the house of David, and gave it to thee, and yet thou hast not been as my servant David, who kept my commandments, and who followed me with all his heart, to do that only which was right in mine eyes, but hast done evil above all that were before thee, for thou hast gone and made thee other gods, molten images, to provoke me to anger, and hast cast me behind thy back. Therefore, behold, I will bring evil upon the house of Jeroboam, and I will cut off from Jeroboam him that pitcheth against the wall, and him that is shut up and left in Israel, and I will take away the remnant of the house of Jeroboam, as a man taketh away dung till it be gone. Him that dieth of Jeroboam in the city shall the dogs eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat, for the Lord hath spoken it. Rise thou therefore, get thee to thine own house, and when thy feet enter into the city, the child shall die, and all Israel shall mourn for him and bury him, for he only of Jeroboam shall come to the grave, because in him there is found some good things toward the Lord God of Israel in the house of Jeroboam. Moreover, the Lord shall raise him up the king over Israel, who shall cut off the house of Jeroboam that day. But what? Even now, for the Lord shall smite Israel as the reed is shaken in the water, and he shall root up Israel out of this good land which he gave to their fathers, and shall scatter them beyond the river, because they have made their groves, provoking the Lord to anger. And he shall give Israel up because of the sins of Jeroboam, who did sin, and who made Israel to sin. And Jeroboam's wife arose and departed, came to Tirzah, And when she came to the threshold of the door, the child died, and they buried him, and all Israel mourned for him, according to the word of the Lord, which he spake by the hand of his servant Isaiah the prophet. And the rest of the acts of Jeroboam, how he warred and how he reigned, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. And the days which Jeroboam reigned were 22 years, and he slept with his fathers. And Nadab, his son, reigned in his stead. And Rehoboam, the son of Solomon, reigned in Judah. Rehoboam was 41 years old when he began to reign. And he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem. The city which the Lord did choose out of all the tribes of Israel to put his name there. And his mother's name was Naamah, and Ammonitis. And Judah did evil in the sight of the Lord, and they provoked him to jealousy with their sins, which they had committed above all that their fathers had done. For they also built them high places and images and groves on every high hill and under every green tree. And there were also Sodomites in the land, and they did according to all the abominations of the nations which the Lord cast out before the children of Israel. And it came to pass in the 5th year of King Rehoboam that Shishak, king of Egypt, came up against Jerusalem, and he took away the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house. He even took away all, and he took away all the shields of gold which Solomon had made. And King Rehoboam made in their stead brazen shields, and committed them into the hands of the chief of the guard, which kept the door of the king's house. Okay? And it was so, when the king went into the house of the Lord, that the guard bore them and brought them back into the guard chamber. Now the rest of the acts of Rehoboam and all that he did, were they not written in the books of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And there was a war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam all their days. And Rehoboam slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David. And his mother's name was Naamah, and Ammonitis, and Abiam, his son, reigned in his stead. Okay, that's all. 1 Kings 14. You got anything on that?
Brother Leonard, where it says in this naming right here, that so she, not a Moabite, that's who that is, right? Not David's son. And David
31.
Yes, sir, in verse 21.
21. Okay.
Oh yeah, well it's the same. That was the same person in 31. My bad, but that's like Ammon and Moab, right?
Yeah, it's just like you got a prophetess, you got an Ammonite.
Right. Okay.
Right. So like I was saying, what people don't really get is that's what when you deal with Naomi and Ruth.
Okay.
Ruth was a Moabitess, right?
Mm-hmm.
So she was the one where they brought the children. They gave her the children. She the one who put the child in the belly of Mullah and burned. Right. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Let that prayer made. Anyway, so chapter 15. This is the wicked reign of Abijam. Now, in the 18th year of King Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, reigned Abijam over Judah. 3 years he reigned, he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Milcah, the daughter of Abishalom, and he walked in all the sins of his father, which he had done before him, and his heart was not perfect with the Lord, his God, and his heart, as the heart of David, his father. Nevertheless, for David's sake did the Lord, his God, give him a lamp in Jerusalem to set up his son after him and to establish Jerusalem, because David did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, turning not aside from anything that he commanded him all the days of his life, save only in the matter of Uriah the Hittite. And there was war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam in all the days of his life. Now the rest of the acts of Abijah and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? And there was a war between Abijah and Jeroboam. And Abijah slept with his fathers, and they buried him in the city of David. And Asher, his son, reigned in his stead. And in the 20th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, reigned Asher over Judah. 41 years reigned he in Jerusalem, and his mother's name was Maachah, the daughter of Absalom. And Asher did that which was right in the eyes of the Lord, as did David his father. And he took away the Sodomites out of the land, and he removed all the idols that his father had made. And also Maachah, his mother, even her he removed from being queen, because she had made an idol in the grove. And Asher destroyed her idol and burned it by the brook of Kidron, but the high places were not removed. Nevertheless, Asher's heart was perfect with the Lord all his days, and he brought in the things which his father had dedicated, and the things which he himself had dedicated into the house of the Lord, silver and gold and vessels. Asher leagued with Ben-Hadad, and there was a war between Asher and Bash, king of Israel, all their days. And Bash, king of Israel, went up against Judah, built Ramah, that he might not suffer any to go out or come in to Asher, king of Judah. Then Asher took all the silver, the gold that were left in the treasures of the house of the Lord and the treasures of the king's house, and delivered them into the hands of his servants. And King Asher sent them to Ben-Hadad, the son of Tabermum, the son of Hishon, king of Syria, that dwelt at Damascus, saying, there is a league between me and thee, and between my father and my father's and thy father. Behold, I have sent unto thee a present of silver and of gold. Come and break thy league, the Bash king of Israel, that he may depart from me. So Ben-Hadad hearkened unto the king Asher, and sent the captain of the host which he had against the cities of Israel, and smote Ijon and Dan and Abel Beth Maachah and all of Kirath with all the land of Naphtali. And it came to pass, when Bash heard thereof, that he left off building of Ramah and dwelt in Tizah. Then King Asher made a proclamation throughout all Judah. None was exempt, and they took away the stones of Ramah and the timber thereof, wherewith Bash had built it, and King Asher built with them Gebal of Benjamin and Mizpah. The rest of all the acts of Asher and all his might that he did in the cities which he built, are they not written in the books of the Chronicles of the Kings of Judah? Nevertheless, in the times of his old age, he was diseased in his feet, and Asher slept with his fathers, and was buried with his fathers in the city of David, his father, and Jehoshaphat, his son, reign in his stead. Okay? And Nebat, the son of Jeroboam, began to reign over Israel in the second year of Asher, king of Judah, and he reigned over Israel 2 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, walked in the way of his father, and in his sin, or wherewith he made Israel to sin. And Bash, the son of Abijah, Ahiah of the house of Issachar, conspired against him, and Bash smote him at Gibbethon, which belonged to the Philistines, for Nabal and all Israel laid siege to Gibbethon. Even in the third year of Asher, king of Judah, did Bash slay him and reign in his stead. And it came to pass when he reigned that he smote all the house of Jeroboam. He left not to Jeroboam any that breathed until he had destroyed him, according to the sayings of the Lord, which he spake by his servant Ahijah the Shunamite, because of the sins of Jeroboam which he sinned, and which he made Israel to sin, by his provocations wherewith he provoked the Lord of Israel to anger. Now, the rest of the acts of Naboth and all that he did, are they not written in the books of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel? And there was a war between Asher and Bash, king of Israel, all their days. And in the third year of Asher, Judah began Bash, the son of Abijah, to reign over Israel in Tishba 24 years. And he did evil in the sight of the Lord, walked in the way of Jeroboam, and in his sins wherewith he made Israel to sin. Okay, so that was 1 Kings chapter 15. You got anything on that?
Shalom, brother. Asa, or however you say his name, this king in verse 23, when it said when he died, he was diseased in his feet, and then the king, I had meant to ask this in 14. Then it said Ahijah, Jeroboam's son, he was blind or whatever. But so with the kings, though, I'm asking because normally they didn't die with any sickness, Brother Leonard. Right. So yeah, that's what I was trying to ask. Like how Moses died, it just said he was all good. So like what happened with this guy?
They weren't right.
Okay.
They weren't living right. Okay. Yeah, that's what that is.
Okay.
And it's the reason why they write it in there.
Yeah, right. That stuck out to me because I'm like, normally you didn't, they don't say that a lot. I ain't never read that.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
You get some?
All right.
Okay, you're gonna pick a scripture, and read it, we'll break it down.
Right, yes, sir. And what's that? So Brother Leonard in Jeremiah 33, if I could for the I think it's the one I want. Yeah, yes, sir. In verse 21, verse 20 and 21. Thus saith the Lord, if you can break my covenant of the day and my covenant of the night, that there should not be day and night in that season, then may also my covenant be broken with David my servant, that he should not have a son to reign upon his throne with the Levites and the priests my ministers. Yes, sir. Shalom. And now Jeremiah 33 and 20 and 21. And just Brother Leonard, when we was reading, just all these guys, whether evil or not, it's showing that the Lord of hosts always uphold his end, because these were still sons of David that reigned, whether they did evil or not. And then he always bring up a righteous one.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Exactly. Yeah, like he said, I spoke it and I'm performing. I'm bringing it to pass. We see that in the story with he sent the prophet to tell Jeroboam that he was going to punish him. And he told him, when you go in and talk to him, don't eat no bread or no wine, and don't go back by the way you came. And he allowed this other prophet to come and lie to him, and he didn't do it. And then he told him that he wasn't going to make it out of there. He wasn't going to be, he's not going to die and a good old age and be laid in himself because his father's a lion killed. So like I said, he spoke it, and the prophet didn't do what he said, and it came to pass exactly what he said. We see that over and over again. Okay.
Right. Yes, sir.
Okay. You got anything else before we go?
Brother Leonard, I got one. I meant to ask this one during the Q&A. Did you see that there's a new Passion of the Christ coming?
Yeah, I saw it back when they keep on putting it out though.
So I seen the official dates they coming out. It's coming out in 2027, and I just thought it was interesting. It's gonna be 2 parts to it, in March and May of next year.
Right.
Yeah.
I see they're doing the same thing with Michael Jackson.
Right. Exactly. Yes, sir.
2 parts. Yeah, I guess that's the new thing.
Right.
Even with what the Obamas did.
Right, with Civil War and Lead the World.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the new thing. Okay?
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you good?
Right, yes, sir.
All right. So with that being said, I'm gonna say shalom, everybody. We have our Women's Advanced Bible Study tomorrow, so we should have a lot of questions, a lot of feedback. See everybody tomorrow. Nigga coming into YouTube. I want to say shalom, shalom, and another shalom.
Shalom.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament in Tanak, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up, and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is, and the Godhead.